nobody wants to come out and say, I'm against having a normal birth. It's that simple. Nobody wants to be the one person that says, I want to help women have surgery. Very few doctors are willing to be that honest. And if you say that I have a VBAC ban policy, and you say I have a policy against allowing women to have vaginal births, then you're portraying yourself as the bad guy automatically. There's nothing you can do. But if you come out and you say you're for women's safety, if you come out and say, oh, I'd be for VBAC if I wasn't going to get sued, if you come out and say, if you have excuses for your behavior, then you don't have to hold yourself accountable.
That are no higher than some of the risks that they take. They give us risks that they choose to tell us. They choose to tell us that VBAC is dangerous, but they don't tell you that induction is dangerous. They choose to tell us that the risk of infection is too high if we don't augment your labor, and yet they don't tell you about the risk of infection from all the multiple vaginal exams they do. They get to pick the risks for us, and so we're not fully informed on both sides of the deal. We don't make
I think that has
fully
to do
informed
with
decision.
a sort of a philosophy of patriarchy, where a physician or a midwife or a hospital thinks that they know best for the little woman, rather than understanding that women are strong, women are smart, women can make decisions for their own lives. We found when we look at the studies that have asked women of their experience of labor and birth, like the Listening to Mothers 1 and 2 studies, we found that women feel coerced, and that women feel pushed, and that women feel as though they aren't getting the adequate information. And I think sometimes hospitals and physicians and midwives feel they have to conform to protocols rather than to what
allowing a woman to be back or giving her that choice. I think there are a lot of factors there. There's fear. Fear, either you've never experienced that in your training, it never came up, and so you don't know what to do with it, and you don't know how you feel about it, and you're scared as a provider. I think there are a lot of there's politics involved, and so they don't want to get involved in all that, and it becomes a sticky issue. I've known women, they start all the women will start going to this one doctor because she'll do VBACs. And then you hear less than a year down the road, that doctor will start telling women, no, I don't do that, because they don't want to get known around town as the VBAC doctor, because they start getting flack from other care providers, and it just becomes a very complicated issue. And I think some of them don't believe it's safe, but I think for the vast majority it has a lot more to do with politics and fear, and maybe not having the skills that they feel might be necessary for it, but some of it is just the misinformation. And I think a lot of times once they're educated, they're happy to participate in VBACs.
But do doctors and midwives really tell women that the risks are higher than they really are and lie to their patients? You decide for yourself. During this project, we asked women to tell us their stories. We wanted to know what lies they were told.
Second pregnancy, which was like 2 years after, I went to this hospital in Manhattan, it's Bethesda Road, and I spoke to the lady around half of my pregnancy. I was seeing an OB since I already had a C-section, and they said, well, I asked her first, I want to try a VBAC, and at that moment I did not say VBAC because I had no idea what a VBAC meant to me. I had no idea about that. I just said I just wanted to try normal. And she said, well, I just wanted to let you know that there's 50% chance of making it, 50% chance of not making it, and you could have very bad bleeding.
With my second talk to the doctor, I said, is it possible for me to do a vaginal birth? She said, absolutely not. It is just too dangerous. You would die and your baby would die. It is not possible. We need to schedule a C-section. I said, well, there's people that go to other states. I was in Kansas at the time. She said, there's people that go to I told her, there's people that go to Missouri and have a VBAC. She said, well, you could do that, but you can't guarantee you're going to have VBAC, and then you don't have your doctor that you know, and you know, really convincing that this just was not the thing for me because it would cause death, and I didn't want to lose my baby, especially, and I didn't want to die.
Love our uteri. We love our uteri. Deep down in our hearts. 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 I say deep, deep. I say down, down. I say deep down in our hearts. I say deep, deep. I say down, down. I say deep down in our hearts.